What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Stoic Inspire channel, and today we're diving into a topic that's often misunderstood, but one that I think is really important, especially when it comes to relationships and the dynamics between men and women. Now, I know what you're thinking. This video might sound a little provocative, but stick with me because we're going to approach this from a completely different angle. We're not just talking about body language, social cues, or the usual signs. We're going deep into the psychology behind attraction, desire, and how Stoic philosophy can guide us through this complex interaction in a respectful, mature way. So, if you're ready for a fresh perspective and want to understand the signs a woman might give when she's sexually interested in you, and how to approach that situation with emotional intelligence, let's dive in. Number 1. She's comfortable and open around you. When a woman is genuinely comfortable and open around you, it's a clear sign that she feels safe and at ease in your presence. This comfortability isn't just about physical proximity, it's about emotional security too. Think about the moments when she's relaxed, dropping her guard, and truly being herself. There's no tension, no pretense, just authenticity. It's often said that people's true selves emerge when they are in an environment where they feel completely accepted, and this is precisely what happens when a woman feels comfortable around you. You might notice how she behaves differently in your company compared to others. With you, she lets her hair down, figuratively and literally. She no longer feels the need to impress or hold back, allowing her natural beauty, quirks, and personality to shine through. Her laughter is unguarded, her gestures are free-flowing, and her conversations become more genuine. It's almost as if the weight of the world lifts off her shoulders when she's around you, and she feels no pressure to conform to any expectations. The essence of comfort is about trust. When a woman trusts you enough to show her vulnerable side, it signifies a deeper level of connection. She's not just talking about surface-level things. She might share more intimate details of her life, her thoughts, her fears, or even her dreams. This emotional openness is a huge indicator that she doesn't just see you as someone to pass time with, but someone she can genuinely connect with on a meaningful level. This sense of emotional safety creates a bond that goes beyond the superficial, allowing her to express herself without fear of judgment. Another subtle but telling sign is how she physically behaves around you. She may be more touchy-feely, but it's not just about the physical touches themselves, it's about the context. She's comfortable touching your arm during a conversation, placing a hand on your shoulder, or casually leaning in closer. This isn't about her pushing boundaries in an aggressive way. It's a natural response to the comfort she feels. Touch is a powerful tool for communication, and when it's used freely and without hesitation, it indicates a strong sense of connection and openness. There's also a noticeable shift in her body language. She doesn't shy away from eye contact, and when you're talking, she's engaged and present. Her eyes might soften, her posture might relax, and there's no fidgeting or discomfort in her movements. A woman who feels open and comfortable with you won't be constantly trying to create distance. She'll be leaning in, maintaining eye contact, and mirroring your actions in a way that demonstrates an unspoken connection. These physical cues are often subconscious, yet they are incredibly revealing of her true feelings. Now, this comfort also reflects her emotional intelligence and maturity. A woman who feels secure with you is confident enough to show vulnerability and let down her emotional walls. She doesn't fear being judged or rejected because she knows that you respect her thoughts, and her individuality. This sense of emotional freedom allows her to connect with you in ways that go beyond just physical attraction. When she's comfortable around you, it's not only about what she says or does, it's about what she feels in your presence. Her emotions are genuine, unfiltered, and real. Over time, this comfort can become a foundational part of your relationship. The more she trusts you, the more natural it will feel to have deep, meaningful conversations without the pressure of trying to perform or put on a facade. The connection becomes effortless, and there's a sense of mutual respect that strengthens the bond. As you both open up, your relationship evolves into something more substantial, built not on pretensions, but on trust, respect, and genuine understanding. When a woman is comfortable around you, it's an invitation to move deeper into the connection. It's a clear sign that she's interested in exploring more of what you can share, emotionally and physically. Comfort creates an environment where true intimacy can grow. And this is where the Stoic philosophy can come into play, understanding that real connection is based on trust, respect, and the absence of fear. A woman who feels comfortable around you is telling you, through both subtle and obvious signs, that she's ready to take the relationship to the next level, whether that means deeper emotional intimacy or perhaps exploring physical closeness as well. Either way, her comfort is an undeniable invitation to something more. Number 2, her body language is subtle but telling. When it comes to understanding attraction and desire, the subtle cues a woman gives through her body language can be incredibly telling, often revealing more than words ever could. The way she moves, positions herself, and even the expressions she makes can all provide insight into her feelings and intentions. But what's truly fascinating is how these signals are often so subtle you could easily overlook them if you're not paying attention. Yet, for those who understand the nuances, these tiny signs can be incredibly revealing, especially when it comes to attraction on a deeper level. At first glance, a woman's body language might seem completely innocent, perhaps just part of the way she carries herself in daily life. However, if you know what to look for, even the slightest shift in posture can indicate that she's interested in more than just a casual conversation. Her body can speak volumes about what she's feeling, even if her words aren't matching up. One of the first signs to watch for is her proximity to you. Women, whether consciously or unconsciously, tend to draw closer to someone they're interested in, especially in intimate settings. If she's leaning in when you talk, or if she's moving towards you when she has the chance, it's not just a sign of engagement in the conversation. It's a silent way of saying that she feels comfortable and is open to getting closer. Another subtle yet telling sign is how she positions her body. If she's standing or sitting with her torso turned towards you, that's a key indication that she's not only paying attention, but also focused on you in a more personal way. Our body naturally aligns with the people we feel comfortable with or attracted to. So if you find her facing you more often than not, it's not just coincidence. Her body might also mirror yours, whether it's crossing or uncrossing arms and legs in sync, or mimicking your movements, which is a sign of unconscious connection and rapport. Women often don't even realize they're doing this, but it's a strong, non-verbal cue that she's in tune with your energy. Hand gestures are another important factor to consider. A woman might subtly touch her neck, lips, or hair when she's attracted to someone, and this can be a sign of her wanting to seem more approachable or inviting. Touching or playing with her hair can indicate that she's feeling nervous or self-conscious, but also signaling her interest by making herself appear more attractive. If her hands are placed in open, welcoming positions, especially if she's facing you with them, it can indicate that she's open to connection and possibly more. Women, when genuinely attracted, will often unconsciously expose their body or gestures in a way that makes them seem more inviting. But what's often overlooked is the gaze, one of the most powerful tools in non-verbal communication. A woman's eyes can tell you exactly how she feels, even if she's not saying a word. If she's looking at you with intense eye contact, it's not just politeness, it's an invitation. an unspoken way of saying, "I'm interested in you, I'm present with you, and I'm paying attention." The direction of her gaze can also tell you a lot. If her eyes linger on your lips, it can be a clear indicator that she's thinking about closeness and intimacy. If she's maintaining soft, prolonged eye contact, it's often a sign of vulnerability and attraction, rather than just casual friendliness. The way she reacts when you touch her is another subtle yet telling sign. If she seems at ease with your touch, even if it's casual, it suggests that she's comfortable with you in a more intimate sense. Her body will often naturally lean into your touch or maintain the connection, indicating that she's not only comfortable, but also desiring more closeness. But if she recoils or stiffens, it's a clear sign that she's not yet ready for that level of intimacy. It's essential to understand the difference between these reactions, as they reveal her readiness and level of interest without her ever needing to speak up. What makes all these signals so powerful is that they are often unconscious. A woman doesn't always need to verbally express her desires or intentions. Her body will do the talking for her in ways that might seem subtle, but are incredibly revealing. It's all about understanding the context and noticing the smaller details. The way she positions herself around you, how her body leans in or out, the way her eyes hold your gaze, or even how she reacts to your touch. All these signs work together to create a clearer picture of what's going on beneath the surface. Understanding body language like this isn't about manipulating a situation, but rather about being attuned to the natural flow of attraction and connection. When you pick up on these subtle cues, you gain a deeper understanding of the unspoken dynamics at play. Attraction, after all, is often more about the little things than the grand gestures. And when it comes to reading the signals, it's the small details that can reveal the most. So, if you're paying attention to how a woman moves, how her body positions itself around you, how her gaze lingers a little longer than usual, or how she seems more open and physically present when you're around, you might be seeing more than just casual friendliness. These subtle signs, these unspoken gestures, could be her way of telling you she's interested in something deeper, something more intimate. The beauty of body language lies in its power to speak what words cannot. And if you're observant enough, you'll find that her body is quietly saying what she might not yet be ready to vocalize. Number 3. She initiates physical contact. When a woman starts initiating physical contact with you, it's a pretty solid indicator of interest. But here's the catch. It's not just about the touch itself. It's about the context in which the touch occurs and the way she uses it to communicate her feelings, intentions, and desires. In many ways, physical touch can be a powerful, almost subconscious form of communication. And when a woman takes the lead in this area, it's not only about breaking the physical barrier between the two of you, it's also about breaking down emotional and psychological walls. When you notice a woman initiating contact, whether it's as simple as a brush on the arm or a playful nudge, pay attention to the energy behind the touch. This is where things get interesting. It's not just about the act itself, it's about the feeling that comes with it. Women don't often initiate physical touch unless they feel a sense of comfort, trust, and a degree of emotional connection with someone. If she's comfortable enough to make the first move, it indicates that she's letting her guard down. And that's a powerful signal, not just of attraction, but of her willingness to explore the potential for something deeper. Let's take the situation further. When she does initiate physical contact, it can sometimes be light-hearted and playful. Maybe it's a gentle tap on your shoulder as she laughs, or perhaps she reaches out to adjust your collar without thinking. These seemingly small gestures are often loaded with meaning. It's like a silent invitation. She might be testing the waters, gauging your response, and seeing how receptive you are to the idea of intimacy. But beyond that, she could be showing you that she's comfortable with you, that she enjoys being around you, and she's interested in taking things to a more intimate level, even if it's just the first step. It's important to remember that touch is a way for humans to build connection, whether it's a slight touch on the wrist or brushing up against you when walking together. Physical proximity and contact are human ways of communicating affection, trust, and interest. Women tend to be more cautious with physical touch, so when they take that step to make the first move, it's significant. It means she wants to see how far things can go. The physical connection acts as a bridge, allowing the two of you to get closer emotionally and potentially open up new possibilities for intimacy. In some cases, when a woman is initiating physical contact, it might be her way of subtly asking for your approval. She's testing to see if you'll reciprocate, if you'll welcome her touch, and if you'll follow her lead. She might give you a soft, lingering touch on your back as she passes by, almost like an unspoken question. Are you open to this? How you respond is just as important as the gesture itself. If you're receptive and you welcome that touch, you show her that you're open to exploring where this connection might go. On the other hand, if you pull away or don't reciprocate, you could unintentionally send the message that you're not interested, and this can discourage her from making further moves. Sometimes, the touch might be more intentional and direct. Think about a moment when a woman might intentionally place her hand on your arm, or even guide you by your wrist to lead you somewhere. That's not accidental. It's not a fleeting gesture. It's a clear signal that she's trying to make her intentions known. She might not even need to say anything, because her actions are doing all the talking. When she takes that step to initiate contact, she's telling you, "I'm interested in you. I want you to know that I'm comfortable with you, and I'd like to see where this can go." This is not an invitation for misinterpretation. This is a clear sign that she's ready to move beyond just casual interactions. On a deeper level, initiating physical contact might also show a certain level of emotional vulnerability. It's easy to forget that physical touch can be a way of conveying affection or desire without using words. For many people, expressing feelings through touch can feel safer than verbalizing them directly. When a woman initiates contact, she could be signaling that she's allowing herself to be emotionally open with you. She's willing to take that risk of being vulnerable and expressing affection in a way that doesn't rely on words. That's something worth paying attention to. To go even deeper into this idea, physical touch can also signal a sense of control and dominance. A woman who is comfortable enough to take the lead in this way might also be signaling her desire to steer the relationship in a certain direction. In many cases, she could be demonstrating confidence and self-assurance, two traits that are attractive in their own right. The touch might not only be about signaling affection or attraction, it could be about asserting her own desires and showing that she knows what she wants. However, the key here is that this kind of touch is not accidental, it's intentional. Every time a woman initiates physical contact with you, it's an act of communication, and it's up to you to interpret what that touch means. Some men might miss the signals entirely, not recognizing the deeper message beneath the surface. But when you start to pay attention to the way she uses touch, the patterns start to become clear. You begin to realize that every touch has a purpose, a meaning, and a direction behind it. The more you become aware of this, the better you'll be at recognizing when a woman is showing her interest in you through physical contact. At the same time, this doesn't mean that every touch automatically signals a desire for something more. Sometimes a woman might initiate touch simply because she enjoys your company and feels comfortable around you. This is important to recognize because misreading these gestures can lead to misunderstandings. Physical touch can be a sign of affection without any ulterior motive. However, when it's frequent, purposeful, and accompanied by other signs of interest, then it's a clearer indicator of attraction. So, The next time a woman initiates physical contact with you, don't just brush it off as a random act. Take a moment to observe the context, the timing, and the nature of the touch. Pay attention to how you feel in that moment, and more importantly, how she's making you feel. Is she closing the distance between you? Does she seem more relaxed, confident, or engaged with you? When a woman makes the first move with physical contact, she's showing you a glimpse of her feelings and her intentions. And if you're smart enough to notice, it can lead you to some pretty exciting places. Number 4. She talks about sex or intimacy openly. When it comes to attraction and relationships, one of the clearest signs a woman might show if she's interested in getting intimate with you is her ability to talk openly about sex or intimacy. Now, let's be clear right from the start. It's not about her talking in a crude or inappropriate manner. It's about how comfortable and open she feels when the topic arises. This comfort is a powerful indicator that she's considering a deeper level of connection with you. When a woman is engaging in conversations about intimacy, whether it's discussing past experiences, desires, or fantasies, it reflects that she sees you as someone who can handle and understand these personal topics without judgment. She's testing the waters to see how you react, and how you respond to her openness tells her a lot about where you stand. Often, this kind of conversation is layered with vulnerability. She's letting you into her world, her thoughts and her feelings that are not easily shared with everyone. If she's able to talk about sex with you without any discomfort, it usually suggests she trusts you to hold the conversation maturely and respectfully. It's not just a random or casual topic for her, it's a way for her to gauge how you perceive intimacy and ultimately how you might view her. Intimacy is incredibly personal, and for many women, talking about it openly means that they're ready to explore it with someone they feel comfortable with. But here's where it gets interesting. How you respond to this conversation can either make or break the connection. If you shut it down or seem uncomfortable, it could send the message that you're not mature enough to handle these discussions, or worse, that you're not seeing her in a respectful or equal light. On the other hand, if you engage with her thoughtfully, show interest without being overly aggressive, and keep things respectful, it will reinforce that you're not just another guy interested in the physical side of things. It shows her that you respect her desires and that you are emotionally in tune with what intimacy really means. Another point to keep in mind is how she talks about her past experiences. A woman who is emotionally available and interested in you might mention her previous relationships or intimate experiences. She's not doing this to make you jealous or to test you in a manipulative way. Rather, she's giving you insight into what she values or what she might be looking for in the future. If she's speaking about intimacy with you, it's likely because she trusts that you can handle this personal information without jumping to conclusions or taking it the wrong way. If you're able to approach this subject with sensitivity, it shows that you are in a mature, understanding space where the physical and emotional aspects of intimacy can coexist. She might also be hinting at certain desires or preferences she has. When a woman is comfortable talking openly about these things, it signals that she's looking to see how you align with her needs. It's not about checking a box to see if you're good enough for her, but more about creating a safe space where both partners can communicate openly about what feels right. She wants to know if you're open-minded enough to embrace her preferences, and more importantly, if you're someone she can connect with on a deeper, more intimate level. It's important to note that this doesn't mean she's giving you permission to be overly forward or inappropriate. Talking about intimacy is one thing, but acting on it without mutual consent and respect is another. When a woman brings up sex or intimacy in a casual or natural way, she's giving you clues, not an invitation to immediately act. It's a signal for you to recognize that she's comfortable, but it doesn't automatically mean she's ready for the next step. Always pay attention to the context and the direction of the conversation. Gauge her comfort level and ensure that you're both on the same page. When it comes to attraction and relationships, many women view open discussions about intimacy as a litmus test for a potential partner's emotional maturity. They don't want someone who is afraid to speak about these topics or who avoids the conversation altogether. A woman who talks openly about intimacy is someone who is likely thinking about a future with you that goes beyond just physical attraction. She wants emotional depth, mutual respect, and, importantly, understanding when it comes to what sex means to her. In today's world, where boundaries and consent are more important than ever, a woman expressing her thoughts on intimacy is a sign of mutual respect and emotional intelligence. She's seeking someone who understands the delicate balance between respect and desire, someone who can handle these sensitive conversations with ease. If you're able to communicate with her about these topics in a way that's respectful, understanding, and even playful at times, it can deepen your connection and pave the way for a more intimate, trusting relationship. Ultimately, when a woman feels comfortable enough to talk about sex or intimacy with you, it's a clear sign that she views you as someone worth exploring these deeper levels of connection with. It's an invitation to engage, to connect, and to share something that many people are reluctant to open up about. If you approach the conversation with maturity and respect, it could be the first step towards something much more meaningful and intimate than you might have expected. Number 5. She becomes more affectionate or protective of you. When a woman becomes more affectionate or protective of you, it's a powerful indication that her feelings for you are deepening, and this shift in her behavior can be particularly telling. As human beings, we are naturally drawn to those we care about, and one of the most distinct ways affection shows up in a relationship is through physical and emotional closeness. But more importantly, this type of behavior stems from an internal desire to protect the connection and maintain a sense of security. Think of it as a signal. She's not just interested in you, she's becoming invested in you. When she starts showing affection in a way that feels more intimate, thoughtful, or even deliberate, it's not just about being nice. It's a manifestation of her deeper emotions, which include trust, attachment, and an underlying desire for intimacy, both emotionally and physically. One key aspect of this affection is how it reflects a shift in her own comfort level. She's no longer simply being polite or friendly, but is actively trying to make you feel special, secure, and appreciated. If she starts initiating physical touch, like resting her hand on your arm, linking arms with you, or even leaning in closer when you're having a conversation, it's a sign that she is prioritizing your presence. She wants to be near you, not because she's just in the moment, but because she finds comfort in your presence, and that kind of comfort fosters a bond that's deeper than mere attraction. For her, these small gestures are not insignificant. They're meaningful, designed to build a connection with you on a more intimate level. Similarly, her protectiveness can be something you notice not just in physical ways, but in how she looks out for you in day-to-day situations. A protective woman doesn't just hover over you in a possessive sense, but rather looks for ways to keep you safe and make sure that your emotional and physical well-being are secure. It could be something as simple as ensuring you're not driving when you're tired, or checking on you if you seem off or stressed. It's not about controlling you, it's about expressing care in a way that protects the bond you're building together. It's subtle but noticeable. If she's protective of you, it means she's beginning to see you not just as a companion, but as someone she can trust and care for on a level that goes beyond surface-level interactions. This is particularly significant when you consider the role of Stoicism in the way emotions are expressed in relationships. Stoicism teaches us to act with virtue, and to temper our desires and emotions, finding balance and tranquility. When a woman shows more affection or becomes protective, it's not just a reaction to surface-level attraction or infatuation. It's a reflection of her own emotional maturity and understanding of what it means to be in a meaningful, purposeful relationship. She's acting out of a sense of duty to care for you, not because of an emotional impulse, but because she genuinely values you, your well-being, and your shared connection. The actions she takes are aligned with a higher purpose, one that resonates with the Stoic principle of honoring relationships and doing what is virtuous for the greater good of both people involved. However, it's crucial to also recognize the depth of this behavior. If a woman begins to exhibit these signs of affection and protectiveness, it's also a call for you to reflect on the same values. You too must cultivate an environment where this kind of affection is appreciated and returned in ways that are equally genuine and thoughtful. Stoicism teaches that to give affection and protection in return is not just an act of reciprocity, but a demonstration of your own emotional and psychological resilience. By being supportive, showing care in meaningful ways, and building that mutual trust, you solidify the bond between you and your partner. In many ways, a woman becoming more affectionate and protective isn't just a sign of romantic interest, it's a demonstration of her emotional depth, the seriousness with which she regards the relationship, and her commitment to creating a safe, loving space between the two of you. The affectionate gestures and the protectiveness are her way of saying that she wants to build something lasting, something meaningful, and something worth fighting for. And in return, how you react to these signals can determine the future of your relationship. If you're able to meet her with the same level of care, vulnerability, and protection, you're entering a partnership grounded in mutual respect and deep emotional understanding. This dynamic is rooted in Stoicism's notion that the greatest love stems from self-control, virtue, and purposeful connection. Qualities that, when practiced by both people in the relationship, can lead to something truly fulfilling. Number 6. She shows jealousy or possessiveness. When we talk about attraction and relationships, one of the most complex yet revealing signs is jealousy or possessiveness. It can seem like a red flag at first, but when you look deeper, especially through a Stoic lens, you'll see that this behavior can actually reveal a lot about the dynamic between two people, particularly when a woman is showing signs that she might want to take things further, physically or emotionally. Jealousy in relationships often gets a bad rap. It's typically viewed as something toxic or insecure, but in reality, it can be a natural and even healthy part of showing care and interest. When a woman starts showing signs of jealousy, it's not necessarily because she's trying to control you or assert dominance over your life. Sometimes it's simply because she values you and the potential connection that might be building between the two of you. In the language of Stoicism, we understand that our emotions, including jealousy, are the result of our judgments. It's about how we perceive the value of a person and a relationship that drives how we react to certain situations. If she's showing jealousy, whether it's when you talk to other women or when you're spending time with people outside of her social circle, it can be a sign that she feels a deeper connection with you, something she wants to protect. She may sense that you are becoming important in her life, and like anyone who has emotions tied to someone they care about, she doesn't want to lose that. This is a natural human reaction, and from a Stoic perspective, it's crucial to recognize that these emotions don't dictate her character or intentions. It's simply a reflection of how she values what's starting to develop between you. When a woman gets possessive, it's a little more intense. Possessiveness can sometimes feel like she's trying to control your actions or where you go, but it's important to separate the feeling of being controlled from the actual emotional undercurrent. Think of it as her showing you that she's invested. She might start making comments about who you're spending time with or questioning certain things in your life, but it doesn't necessarily mean she doesn't trust you. It could just be that she's trying to understand how much space there is for her in your world. Again, from a Stoic viewpoint, understanding that her behavior comes from an emotional attachment and not malice can help you respond thoughtfully. It's essential not to mistake her possessiveness for a lack of trust, but rather as an expression of her fear of losing you to someone else. This kind of jealousy or possessiveness might also stem from her wanting to feel like she is a priority in your life. If she senses that you're growing more distant, or if she's afraid that someone else might be taking up too much of your time or attention, her jealousy can be a reaction to that. For Stoics, this is a reminder that relationships are not only about how we feel at the moment, but how we balance our emotions with rationality. There's a fine line between someone showing jealousy because they genuinely care and someone trying to control or manipulate the situation. The key here is not to react impulsively or dismissively, but to approach the situation with awareness and understanding. When she expresses possessiveness, pay attention to how she does it. Is it out of a desire to keep you close, or is it rooted in insecurity and fear? The difference is subtle but significant. If she's trying to keep you in her orbit because she genuinely values your connection and doesn't want to share you with others, then that's a healthy kind of possessiveness. On the other hand, if her actions are more about controlling your every move or trying to undermine your interactions with others, that might be a sign of deeper insecurities or unresolved issues. A Stoic approach here would be to recognize the emotions at play and address them calmly without letting them disrupt the harmony of your relationship. There's also something about the way jealousy and possessiveness can reveal how much she values physical closeness. If a woman feels this strong attachment to you, she might not only want to hold on to your attention, but also show that she's ready for deeper intimacy. This doesn't necessarily mean she's trying to rush things, but rather that she feels secure enough to express how much she enjoys being around you. The physical aspects of attraction often intertwine with emotional closeness, and jealousy or possessiveness can be one way her mind and body are signaling that she wants to take things to a new level. However, jealousy and possessiveness in a relationship can also serve as a test, albeit an indirect one. She might be testing to see how much you're willing to invest in the relationship and whether you can handle the weight of her emotions. From a Stoic perspective, how you react to these signals is just as important as recognizing them. Your response will help define the direction of the relationship. Reacting with calmness, patience, and understanding will show her that you're emotionally secure and can handle the deeper aspects of a relationship, which will, in turn, foster greater trust and intimacy. In any case, jealousy or possessiveness isn't a universal sign of impending physical intimacy, but it certainly can be an indicator that she's emotionally invested and sees you as someone who plays an important role in her life. From a Stoic standpoint, understanding that these behaviors are rooted in emotional attachment, not a desire to control, allows you to respond more mindfully. You can choose to handle the situation with wisdom and patience, understanding that emotional signals like jealousy don't define the future of a relationship but merely highlight where feelings might be headed. In the end, the key here is not to react with frustration or irritation, but to take the time to understand what lies beneath the surface. If a woman shows jealousy or possessiveness, it's a reflection of her feelings for you and a sign that she values what's growing between you. How you handle that can set the tone for how your relationship evolves, allowing both of you to explore the deeper layers of attraction, connection, and intimacy. So there you have it, 6 signs a woman might give when she's sexually interested in you. But remember, none of these signs are guarantees. People are complex, and attraction is multifaceted. The Stoic approach here is all about balance, being aware of your own feelings and the signals of others, but also remaining in control of your actions. Attraction isn't just physical, it's emotional and mental. So, as you move through these situations, remember to treat women with respect, stay grounded, and don't let impulsive desires cloud your judgment. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. And as always, leave your thoughts and comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. Until next time, stay calm, stay mindful, and keep growing.